All right. So this is a special edition of the Walker Talks because we have guest stars of the show today.
Ooh. Welcoming Rebecca and Danny Brand.
Yeah. Oh, I need to.
How do?
How do? Well said. Yeah. So, they are on their way to Chile, and to pick up Taylor from his mission. He's finishing in a couple days, and so they're going to go down and pick him up. And so they stopped in Los Angeles and stayed the night with us. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, more on that in a minute, I guess. Or are we talking about that right now?
Yeah, no, we can go back to it. You know what? I actually talked to my dad about this, and he said that as you go through, it's okay. You should go through it chronologically, but you can explain what things are before the opinion segment, and then at the end, I mean, this is a little different, and then at the end, just say what you thought about it.
That's
like,
true.
not, you can still explain what it was, and if you had fun doing it, and then just quickly give your opinion
Give
later.
like a recap. Okay,
Yeah.
That's smart. I like that.
So we can do that, like we just did, and we're going to hit it again, but that's okay. All right, so last Sunday, it was our in-betweens. Oh, we already talked about that last time. Huh?
Yeah, but first of all, today's Matt's birthday.
It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
He is 27. Happy birthday.
And we know how to party.
Yeah, and it's been a good birthday so far. I have not got a migraine. My pinky toenail hasn't fallen off, and I haven't thrown up. So that's a great
good
birthday
day.
so far.
All
I mean,
blesses.
there's still a lot of the day left, but
Yeah, who knows?
so far it's been good. We'll see where we get. But yeah, so last week was we decided to call it our
in-birth tween day.
in-birth tween day is what we ended up. We decided. I will never remember that, but Brooklyn will correct me every
I'll
time
remember it.
because it's too good to not use. So, but we did go over to the Brantleys, their friends in our ward, and we caught up on The Mandalorian. So we watched a couple episodes, and they made some grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
It's
really fun.
yeah, it was really fun. We really love the ward that we're in, and The Mandalorian's great. I love Star Wars so much.
Yes. How did
All
Dad
Star
put it?
Wars.
Best Star Wars since.
The only Star Wars worth watching since Return of the Jedi. I have spoken.
Which
So there you have it.
yeah, that's from an authoritative source as well. But yeah, so it's been really fun doing that and hanging out with them. So, all right, Brooklyn,
Oh,
tell the story of walking to work,
it's great.
just like a normal walk to work.
It's great. So Sony is about a mile down the road, and I've been trying to go into work twice a week, and walking to work is part of that. So it's just a really beautiful walk. The other day, I just left super early, and it's just beautiful. California is so pretty. There's so many flowers, no matter what time of year it is, and everything's just in bloom, and it's so green. And yeah, there's not much to this story. Basically, just a great walk.
It's a nice walk. So from here there's two ways you can get to Sony from here. You can walk straight out to Washington, and that road is an ugly road. But there are some fun murals, like a guy that catches our baby.
Oh, I gotta post that on
Yeah, I know.
Instagram.
Someone needs to see that. Basically, when Hannah was here, well, there's this weird thing of this guy running with his arms out. Some
And
mural.
he has like 50 fingers, and
Yeah.
just kidding. There's only 5, but it looks like he has a million.
But when Hannah came and did a photo shoot, she also took a photo of Juniper crying, and then photoshopped her being him catching her. It makes no sense as I'm explaining it, and I realize that.
Well, basically, I was
That's a funny
holding
picture.
Juniper up, and Hannah photoshopped me out, so it looks like he's catching Juniper.
Maybe we
and she's
can clip
falling.
the picture in somewhere. So you
Yeah.
guys can see
Well,
it.
I'll post it on Instagram.
But yeah, so anyway, you can walk that way, or you can walk back through these neighborhoods where a lot of people have really nice, like
such cute houses.
landscaped houses. Yeah, they're so small, but they're there and they're cute.
Yep.
It's a nice walk. It's not too far, not too bad. And always after Brooklyn walks to work, she comes home or she texts me from work and is like, it was such a nice walk to work today. I really thought about the way that spiders weave their webs and about
get all
how beautiful
contemplative.
it is. And yeah. And so there are good sides to walking to work and there are bad sides to just kidding. I'm joking. No, it's a really cool thing. So then that was Monday morning, right? Because you go to work on Mondays. Brooklyn's going to work twice a week now.
Yeah,
I think we talked about
Thursdays.
that. Yeah, but and then she came home, and that night for family home evening, we watched the movie Cats Don't Dance, which is undoubtedly the best animated movie of all time.
It's a hidden gem that nobody knows about.
No, I'm being sarcastic, but we watched a lot as kids, and and I don't know exactly why or where it came from, but I think it's kind of fun. It's a pretty funny thing. Yeah, it was fun to watch together. One of the guys Brooklyn works with actually animated parts of it, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I do those animation course reviews, and the guy who basically coordinates all of that, it's his little online school. But he was an animator on it way back in the day. When was it animated? Like the 90s? Late 90s? Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, way back in the day. The 90s.
Were there even computers back then?
Then Tuesday night was our last day that we had to prepare a Scouts. That baby's... Is she crying?
Oh, she's probably getting up. I'll go get her.
Okay. She's making noises. It's really cute. It was our last day of Cub Scouts because they're going to stop they're dropping Cub Scouts at the beginning of the year. And it was really fun. Our Cub Scouts right now are hellions. Just like the wildest kids. As we were coming home, we were talking about that. And next week we do have a pack meeting, but we don't have to plan it. But we were talking about it because some of them they're just so talkative. They're just so hyper, and they just feed off each other, and it just becomes this giant mess. And we can try and discipline them as much as we want, and they just it doesn't click with them at all. And then as we were driving home, I was like, man, these kids are just wild. And Brooklyn was like, were you like that? And I was like, yeah. I mean, they are practically just like different iterations of me as a child. So I really shouldn't be too hard on them. But
the reason that they're crazy is because since Scouts is wrapping up, they just kept pushing kids through the program as fast as they could. So these kids are actually a lot younger than they should be. So our very first group of Scouts was actually pretty well behaved because they were a couple years older, honestly. And so they were just a little bit more mature. But yeah, this group is insane.
Wild. But
there are only 4 kids, and we've had up to 12.
We had
12, right? 12 kids before. And this group is a lot more difficult to manage than 12 kids. It's crazy.
But yeah, anyway, it's really fun though. We really, really enjoy it. So that's done. I think was it that same day the Bob did you just hear her?
Baobab.
Did you hear her? Make her smile.
A little laugh. Hey.
Well, if you could see her smiles, you'd melt. But she would just made a little laugh sounds.
Laugh, kind of. I think it's Baobab.
Baobab. Which are those trees in Africa?
Yes.
The big, the Rafiki tree is a Baobab.
But yeah, they came into work. So they came last year as well and showed us the Crow the Legend. It's a VR experience now, but it was just a short film with John Legend, who was the voice of the Crow. But he actually came into the studio, which was fun. Anyways, this year they did, it's called Bonfire. It's this little VR experience. And it was actually really cool. Basically, well, you just kind of have to do it to understand what it was about. But it's just this simple little interactive experience. And the animators did a little Q&A after. And they basically just have to anticipate anything that the player can do, because it could be anything. You could
Just like
you could like throw
how
a
interactive
fire
it is.
log at, out into the open, or you could throw it at the robot next to you, or you could, roast stuff over the fire. Like, there's so many different things you can do, and they have to anticipate that and animate pretty much any sequence that would respond to that
Right.
in a way that's really organic.
Which is so different
interesting.
because that's how game design is you have to anticipate what players will do and kind of and animate every motion that player can make.
But without it getting
this
too
is-
repetitive, like they have just so many different
But then this
variations
is-
so that it feels organic.
Yeah.
And anyways, it's
kinda
really cool. It's really impressive.
Yeah. I didn't see it, so I can't
Yeah.
really say much about it.
Yeah, I
But
bet. I bet
mean,
they'll
it's
release
kinda
it on
cool, though.
Steam though,
Yeah.
so we could play it.
Yeah. And then what about your holiday party?
Oh yeah, so Sony has a yearly holiday party, but it's employees only. And so last year I didn't go because
So
I was
didn't
like,
get invited.
so last
the
year
bums.
I didn't go because I was like, well, if Matt can't go, I'm not gonna like stay after work late and go to a party without him. And so, but this year it started at 5 and work ends at 6. So I was like, I figured I'd go for just a minute. But we got there. It was in the Thalberg parking lot, which is the parking lot with the giant rainbow over it.
There's a giant rainbow, and what she's talking about is the Sony Entertainment lots,
the-
which is
the
Columbia
live
Pictures,
action
like
lot.
where they do build sets and film movies, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And there's a big rainbow,
there's a big
and
rainbow.
it was by the big rainbow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one sec. Keep spitting out her binky. So yeah, we went there and
Maybe she
then
doesn't want it.
we they let us in, but we're like, no sitting down. They had like these couches laid out everywhere, and they wouldn't let us sit down. They wouldn't let us like eat food, which was like kind of weird. But I basically just grabbed a pretzel and then came back home. So super fun party.
Yeah.
If you don't drink, there's like not really a reason to be there. Honestly, that's like why people go to these parties. But
I know.
so yeah, that was fun.
Was it actually fun?
No, I mean it was fine.
Okay. It was
I
good.
didn't know the people I went with super well, but it's good to make friends at work. So
Yeah, that is good.
yeah.
Okay, now explain the next
Oh
one.
yeah, the next one's me too. Okay, so there's this place called Graphaids around the corner. It's like this art shop or art supply print shop. And every time we pass it, all I can think about is AIDS because
What's it called?
it's called
Did you already
Graphaids.
say that?
Oh, did I say that?
Oh,
It's
I
called
didn't- I didn't know I missed
Graphaids. And all I can think about is AIDS every time we pass it. Anyways, I needed to make a print for a friend. And I got there and there were like 4 employees on duty. And I was like, hey, I just need to make a single print, 8x8 or whatever. And like nobody knew how to work the printers. The only guy that knew how had stepped out. And they're like, oh, he'll be back in about 10 minutes. So I waited and they're like, after 10 minutes, they're like, oh, he'll actually be another 20 minutes. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I waited 20 minutes and then I was like, hey, do you know when he's going to be back? And they're like, oh, it'll probably be at least another 10 minutes or so. I was like, are you kidding me? Okay, I'm leaving. Which was so frustrating because, like, you guys are an art print shop. How does nobody else know how to work the printers? It was so weird. So I went to West Side Print Center just down the road. And they printed it in like 3 seconds. And I realized they only take cash for orders under $10. And so the lady's like, nah, just slip $1 under our door next time you come by. They're like so chill. I ended up giving her like my spare change that added up to like 55 cents. She's like, I'll take it. And so anyways, oh, there's Hannah.
Call back.
Yeah, I'll call her
Yep.
back. Hannah is FaceTiming me right now. So Hannah, when you listen to this, I'm sorry that I am not answering your FaceTime call.
You're being ignored.
But I will call you back right after.
We'll go quick because the baby's starting to fuss and stuff's going on. We don't want to waste too much time. So here we go. The Word Christmas party was on Saturday morning. Very fun.
Yes.
Except it was a treat bar and a hot chocolate bar. So there's no breakfast, but it was at 9:00 in the morning. And so it was kind of like, come here and eat sugar. And, and it was like, I would rather have like
a
breakfast
breakfast
bar, like something where you go and,
Is that an LDS thing? Like, are we the only
Breakfast
people that
bars
get
or
together? No,
treats?
that get together and
You're
eat donuts in the morning, or
No, everyone does.
okay.
I mean, donuts are a morning food, but it's not. But yeah, I mean, church tends to do like parties in the morning because it's harder to get more people there later in the day. That's kind of thing. So, is that so?
Is that so?
It was really fun though. We hung out with the Muths and the Brantleys again, and the thing that I think is important about this is like it was really fun because for one of the first times, or I just feel more. Both of us feel more like at home in this ward than we ever have since we've been married. Just like we have good friends, we feel comfortable, and that's really nice. And so it was really fun. We just hung out and talked about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And ate donut holes. That's good. And then later that day, well, we came home. Brooklyn did some of her video reviews, and we cleaned up, and then we went and picked Brooklyn's parents up from the airport, and then we went to eat sushi at Ugly Roll Sushi, which I don't remember if we've talked about or not, but we will. It's pretty good.
It is good.
And then we watched The Office till we fell asleep. That's what happened. Yeah. Basically just hung out and talked and ate popcorn and ice cream and went to dinner. Yeah. And so
what did you think about The Office, Mom?
Dad and I have not enjoyed it at all. All of season 1, we would look at each other at the end of each episode and with
but we
wide
broke
eyes.
through. We broke through in season 2.
Yeah, finally. But it wasn't until
Jim pranking Dwight is epic.
that was good.
The desk in the men's room was
Yeah, that was the first one we actually laughed at. Well, we laughed at some of the things, but it was, yeah.
It's getting better.
It's getting better finally.
I told them the first season is hard. It's a rough one to get through. It's pretty cringy.
Yeah.
But it gets better.
Yeah. It's not even cringy. It's just, why waste the time?
Dumb. Yeah. Yeah.
I can see that.
Rebecca does not like the first season of The Office.
0 out of 10.
Did you get that idea?
Yeah. But we like it. Brooklyn's watched it twice.
Yes.
I've watched it 2.5 times.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know.
It is
it's
funny. I love The Office.
Yeah, so that's what we did, and then this morning we woke up, and now we're recording this. So now we're all caught up for the week. The baby, for the baby update, she's laughing a little bit more and just cooing more and just making sounds and stuff.
And her neck's getting a lot stronger during tummy time. She's like lifting herself up on her arms, which is fun.
Basically the cutest baby ever.
Basically.
Yeah, that's 3 people. That's corroborated.
That's right. That's peer-reviewed science right there.
She is the cutest baby. Yeah, and then the other night she even slept 6 hours, which was the in a 6-hour stretch. We measure how well she sleeps at night by the longest stretch that she slept, and so she slept 6 hours, and she loved it.
She usually wakes up, so I feed her around 10:30 p.m., and then she wakes up 3 hours later, and then she usually will sleep a longer stretch after that. Yeah. And so this time she woke up 3 hours later and then slept another 6 hours, which was
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. That was amazing. Okay, jump into opinions because we got a cruise. First is Cats Don't Dance. Cats Don't Dance is a artistic masterpiece. It is so good, and everyone should watch it at least once. It's like an hour and 15 minutes long. It's like, why not, right? If you don't like it and it was a waste of time for you, which it might be for everyone.
For most everyone.
But then that's fine. But no, I think it's really funny.
At least you'll have this cultural experience.
It's so it's 1997 and it was done by the Warner, well, I can't remember the actual name of the studio, but it's Warner Brothers basically. And it has that Warner Brothers feel, the kind of Looney Tunes, the kind of maybe Animaniacs. It just kind of has that like goofy, over the top feel with a lot of it, but it's trying to tell a more serious story. So it's a little bit like it doesn't that doesn't mesh super well, but it's funny and there's some good moments and some good gags and stuff. But
yeah, it's a funny show. It's
like both funny and creepy and funny.
Yeah, a little unsettling because I don't know if this is done on purpose, just because of the style or whatever. But a lot of the animation seems to get off model by like a lot. Like their faces just stretch in ways that it feels like they should.
What does off model even mean?
Oh, sorry. When I say on and off model, basically it's deviating from their, how do I even say this?
Like their design.
Their design. Like
what they're supposed to
their
be.
faces stretch beyond what it should for their design, if that makes sense. So their eyes like go in weird places, and I don't know. Maybe that's a term that doesn't make sense if you're not in animation, but basically it's like animating them in a way that
it's like there's a set drawing, and then sometimes they'll animate them, and like things will change.
Like their proportions change, and anyways, yeah.
Anyway,
basically that's
so
what
there is like some weird stuff, but it's really good. I actually think it's good. I would say actually like 4 out of 10.
Which is like sort of generous,
good, right?
But...
All right. So next, what would you rate the bonfire thing?
It was awesome. I mean, as far as VR goes, for what it was, like, for how interactive it was, I definitely 10 out of 10. I felt like it was really an impressive feat of technical engineering, or whatever you call that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was great. It's really fun.
Cool. What would you rate it?
What? Oh, I said 10 out of 10.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Okay.
I missed that. And then they also did the Crow, which is something that I've actually done the VR thing for, and it is garbage. So there you go. It's just kidding. It's like it's decent at best. I mean, it was the story was kind of fun, but the VR experience was not very fun. Like I would have rather just watched it on it.
Yeah, I did not see that one in VR.
It just didn't. There's, like Brooklyn's talking about, if there's not really an interactive element to it, it's not super fun just to watch something in VR. Like
that is true.
Like it doesn't. It's almost kind of annoying because they try to make the most of it. It's kind of like when you watch something in 3D, or when 3D movies were really popular, and they'd have a lot of scenes where something comes to the camera, kind of thing, so that it could pop out onto the screen. It's kind of like that. They're like, we want to make the most of VR, so they change where the scene is. So you'll be watching it in front of you, and all this stuff's happening, and then they'll kind of, it fades out, and it goes to the next scene, and the scene's behind you, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to turn around just to watch something else. It's like, no, just put it in front of me, let me watch it. I'd be fine with that. But John Legend has a really good voice.
Yeah.
So that's true.
He does.
I'd give that like a 5. Graphaids?
Okay, Graphaids. I probably just had kind of a weird experience with it, and so maybe that's like...
Well, rate your experience.
Okay, my experience was 0 out of 10. Just kidding. I'm like so annoyed. No, I don't know. I think Graphaids is overpriced, and their service is subpar.
Will you ever go there again?
I don't think so.
That's a no.
Well, it's just weird. It's like, why haven't you trained your whole staff to like print? You're a print shop. Like you're an art and print shop. Anyways. So yeah, low rating for me. Yeah, 1 out of 10 maybe.
Okay. If we haven't talked about Ugly Roll Sushi, I think we have. We'll just go over it again. It's really good. Yeah. I think so. It's like a fun little experience. Such a teeny little restaurant, and you go in, and there's iPads at the table that you order on, and then they just pass you your food. You can see where they're making the sushi and stuff, and they just pass it under the...
And if you want more, you just tap a couple more and add it to your order. And then
so it's like a fun experience, and the sushi is like... good enough. Yeah. It's not bad sushi, but it's not like...
What did you think about Sushi, Dad? Did you feel like it was...
It was good.
Yeah?
I
Pretty
it.
good?
It was really fun. Kind of a cool little intimate place that was good food and
you can watch them make it for you, and then they slide it under the little glass divider, which is fun.
Super fun.
Yeah.
So
I liked it.
8 out of 10, 9 out of 10-ish. We go there a lot for sushi because it's also fairly inexpensive. So and then we already talked about The Office.
Yeah.
We like it.
Our parents tolerate it.
Tolerate it.
They're warming up to it.
They are.
Last 2 episodes, bueno.
It is fun to watch with other people too, though. So all right. Well, that's it. Just wrap up.
Yeah. And next week you'll hear about Matt's birthday.
About my
and what
birthday.
we do.
It's gonna be a blast.
Yes.
If I don't get sick.
I know. Let's hope you don't.
Yeah. Okay. I love you all. Yep. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye now.
I can't get to the stop button.